Today, I want to share all the interesting things that have happened in my second year of running a YouTube channel as a hobby. Additionally, I will talk in brief about my plans for the coming year. Either way, let's dig in. The first interesting thing worth sharing actually happened in real life. Last year, I visited University of Alberta with a couple coworkers to hire interns and new grads from the career fair there. We also gave a company presentation along with a general presentation about software for students done by my coworker and I. At the career fair, the two coworkers and I talked to about 100 students each, and around 30 of those students came to say hi and talk to me because of this YouTube channel. Aside from getting teased by my coworkers about it, it was absolutely fascinating that I had such an impact on so many real people. Some students chose to come to the University of Alberta just because of me, and some existing students found my channel quite useful and insightful for choosing which courses to take. That was super cool. I even had an awkward interaction where someone asked for a picture with me, but I blinked in the photo and they didn't ask to retake the photo. The next interesting thing that happened is that occasionally some of my older videos would become very popular again, but not through the recommendation algorithm. For example, my video titled "Why do so many software engineers use Linux?" suddenly got a very large number of views around early April of last year. That left me scratching my head. Why? A quick Google search gave me the reason. I was quoted in a couple articles. One was written in what seems to be Basque, and another written in English. There were also a couple websites that used my U of A review video as part of their articles, but I can't seem to find them anymore. Either way, I will let you in on a little secret. That Linux video was actually the least researched and least effort I put into any video when it was released. It was super rushed, done about as last minute as it gets, and it is used as a primary source in some articles. I find that to be incredibly funny and slightly troublesome. One other interesting thing that happened is actually the complete flop of the video series where I answer your questions in video form. I did not expect that, but given that my channel has relatively low engagement in the comments, I suppose it's not quite as surprising. I honestly expected to be able to get some ideas from you, my audience, about what you want to see from me, but clearly that did not work. I suppose that I need to improve the engagement somehow, like including calls to action in the middle of the video, such as you leaving a comment below right now telling me that calls to action don't work on you. Next interesting thing that I learned is that making a video series is significantly easier than making one-off videos. This is because the writing, filming, and editing processes take significantly less time and effort than coming up with video ideas, planning how to present the idea, and finding the mental effort to actually do it. For example, in the last year, I have done 2 video series, one being only 2 videos long and the other being 6 videos long. Honestly, I was very intimidated by the prospect of committing to a 6 video series, but as I was going through it, I realized that it's much simpler to do than I initially anticipated. Once you have put in the upfront planning work, the writing, filming, and editing processes go much smoother. All of this upfront work leaves you with a lot less uncertainty regarding what you need to do, how you want to do it, and when you need to do everything. I expected that video series would be a lot more effort overall, but I guess that I was wrong. Let's move on to the statistics now. The channel has done better over the past year than the first year, but the vast majority of this performance came from my old videos. The number of views went up by 15% year over year, and the number of watch hours went up by 28%. The subscriber growth rate has actually fallen off, but that's okay. The really interesting fact is that only 2 videos from the past year have broken into the top 10 within the past year. That's actually rather interesting, as it really shows compounding growth, but I guess that also shows the fact that in the last year, the topics have not been landing anywhere near as much, despite the video quality going way up. There are 2 more things that I will bundle all together at the end of this part of the video. The fact that I've been running this channel from a Linux desktop for a year, and the fact that my release schedule has shifted. For the first bit, I would actually like to refer you to the last video of 2022, where I go into this topic in a lot more detail. For the release schedule shifting, well, I suppose I should talk about it. I've always kept this channel as a fun little hobby. However, there are points in life where you get less time for fun little hobbies, or the preference for hobbies changes. In the first year, I tried to upload every 2 weeks, but that was really only sustainable while I basically lived a lockdown lifestyle. Around early last year, I shifted to a once-a-month release schedule, as that allowed me more flexibility to try and recover my personal lifestyle from the depths of lockdowns to actually doing other things. I've been spending more time with friends and family, going into the office to work, and dealing with a number of random personal things. All of those demands on my attention come from some fixed supply of attention I can provide, and at certain times, the YouTube channel has to go onto the back burner. This leads to uninspired videos, and therefore some lackluster video performance. It's actually really interesting to see that in other hobby YouTube channels that I follow. I'm not unique in this. Either way, I think that's all that I wanted to share with regards to what I have learned in the past year. Now let me share my plan for the coming year. Let's begin by talking about my release schedule again. Expect some gaps in my uploads this year. I'm giving this warning because I have decided that if I cannot come up with a good video idea to give you guys, I will stop torturing myself and actually take time making something better over time. That is reason number 1. Reason number 2 is the fact that currently I have extremely high demands on my attention by things that must be done right away. This means that there will be times in the coming months where I literally do not have any time I can afford to donate to this channel. Those that know me personally, I'm sure you know just how cursed my personal workload is at the moment. Now, reason number 3 ties into the next part of my plan for this year. I'm planning to make a number of videos with significantly higher effort cost on my side. For example, I want to reach out to a couple people for collaboration videos, and I also want to make a couple videos which require some serious original research that may not have been done before by anyone. Some examples of videos that are coming are the issues with the software engineer title, the culture of software engineering, and a deep dive into a systemic issue of the software engineering labor market. Quite obviously, none of these titles are finalized, but you should have the gist of what is coming. Some of these are also significantly harder to pull off than others, so no guarantees on all of them being accomplished this year. Another interesting thing is that there will be a few videos this year that will have noticeably higher production value, because I will have someone in my life helping me by donating equipment and labor for a little while. You should see it in a video that talks about how to succeed in your first software engineering internship. That one should come out before May. Let's move on to the next thing. Last year, I tried to add some lazy content by outsourcing the content idea creation process to the audience, but that has clearly failed. Therefore, I have come up with new lazy content for the year. I will be going a little deeper into some particularly interesting insights I have come around to myself in my job as a software engineer. The last thing that I will mention is that this is still a hobby channel for me, and therefore there will come random one-off topics. For example, in my first year of running this channel, I have failed in making a video related to cooking, but I think I can pull it off this year. After all, software engineering is not the only thing I do in my life. That's about it for my plans for the coming year. Thank you for your time. Bye.